It is dawn in Honolulu. Actually, there's no sun on the horizon. The moon's still up here. There we go. Yeah, that's 500,000 miles away, right? I could almost touch the fucking thing. I look at stuff here, and I think about a power down situation, because of course I do. I've always had the thoughts of sort of apocalyptic kind of end time scenarios always in my head, because for a lot of us I think that's what we came for, you know. And there's always these warnings, I've heard them all, about getting out of cities and how it's going to be madness, and it is like kind of madness, like when we have power outages here, even in a block to block situation, the first thing you start hearing is police sirens. And then you hear screaming. Not screaming like, horrific screaming, just people yelling at each other. Like, a lot of yelling goes on here. That's how it is in most major cities, too. It's just, you have those yellers, But just all this electricity. If it was all going on at once, what you have, just people filling the streets looking for answers and whatever. And then how long would it take to evolve into, whatever it devolves? And I hope I'm not creating this situation. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to give energy to that sort of thing, but it's just, I'm noticing all the buildings that are doing the Christmas light thing. Like, some of them do red and green. Like, I don't know if you see it, but down here, red and green straight ahead, red and green over here. Yeah, doesn't look like it's coming out through the camera, but some of these buildings do, like, at Christmas time, they do red and green, where they do one for red, one for green on the outside, for, like, stairwell lights. Some buildings do like the rainbow stuff, and others spell words. Lots and lots of electricity, And Honolulu especially in my area, it's not that big compared to a lot of other places, but man, you can imagine the electricity, just everything. And it creates the ability to have a modern life, and without it, it's like, to lose it all at once, especially, would be very dark ages. And I keep hearing more and more about a possible power down situation, and a scenario where nothing would work, including the cars. I know they have the ability to do that. I think that would be one of the last things they'd want to do. I'm not saying they won't do it, they will. They would, when the timing was right, but it seems like they still need to fuck with us a little bit, because they're doing, still doing the jab thing, and I don't spend a lot of time thinking about what they're gonna do. I don't care what they're doing. A lot of my time goes to thinking about how they're using this system, this reality system that we're living in. What are the mechanics of it? And they're using it through us, okay? They don't have the levers and the buttons to use on their own. If they did, we wouldn't be here. Their levers and buttons and switches that control the reality and make it the way they want can only work through us. We already have latent ability to control those switches and buttons ourselves, but we don't know how to use it. And that's where I think the real meaningful work comes in. And it's not going to be some normie accredited scientist who has a paper on the wall, because by virtue of having that paper on the wall, he's already excused himself from any meaningful conversation, and he can't add anything to it anyway because he's not allowed to. He's a slave to that piece of paper. Because without it, you know, he loses his livelihood, and he still owes a lot in student loans. So it's gonna just be weirdos like me in their bathroom. You know, that's gonna be it. And I hope we can, you know, have a place to exchange information and ideas. And, you know, I put this stuff on YouTube right now, and I'm sure I'm not going to be able to do that forever. I don't save any of my stuff because I don't care. I'll do a better one. In fact, I don't watch. I look through my videos, look at some of the old ones. I'm like, oh yeah, I used to think this. But now with more perspective and more information, my understanding of that has evolved, you know. So yeah, I don't know where you are, where you have to end up. I know a lot of people go on a rumble. It doesn't matter eventually, you know, especially in a power down situation. But as far as, you know, a lot of people are like, well, you know, YouTube is a place where, you know, more people will see. It's not about people being able to see you. I think if the people that will can resonate with this kind of information, they tend to just find it. I always run into stuff like that way. It isn't because I see an ad or an algorithm promotes a video for me. It's not how I find this shit. I mean, yeah, keywords are good too, but what keywords do you even use for some of this stuff? You know, I use a bunch of things that kind of relate to it, but in most cases, I've found the person by just kind of wandering backwards into them. It's almost like, you know, you're meant to find it, or you're meant to hear it. This sounds whoopy-doopy and fucking hippy-dippy, but it's true. When it comes down to it, like, a lot of this is hippy-dippy, man. It's just kind of been ridiculed. It's been ridiculed. It's been ridiculed in our society to think of those kind of things like commonality and energy or togetherness. It's called hippy-dippy. So that when I think of it, I'm like, oh, I know that sounds hippy-dippy. You know, that's just my subconscious programming that makes you think that. That's something you got to work on every day. Your subconscious runs 90% of what you're doing every day. Note, take this street. Note, you can't reach that shelf. Note, if you wear that shoe, this will happen. You don't even have these thoughts in your head. They just automatically process them. The thing to do is to try to reprogram your subconscious with good stuff, so it automatically does things in your favor instead of working against you. Instead of having a constant ombudsman that's correcting you all the time. No. It's fucking crazy. But no matter what, this is all going to turn out okay. I don't care who's hearing this right now, or who you are, or where you're from, whatever. It's going to turn out okay for you. And everything's going to be alright, and you're going to feel really dumb that you wasted any time being afraid or worrying. You're going to be like, oh man, all that time I was worried about whatever, I could have been enjoying this, or walking around outside more, looking at the sun more, spending more time with people I love, you know. And instead, I was worried about whatever stupid thing that's on TV. I don't know for sure, but I feel like it's a bit like waking up from a dream when you're done here. In your dream, everything's super serious. Like, oh god, you're running around, maybe there's a hectic situation, you're having a dream at work, or you're at school, there's something really intense, and you're freaking out about it, and then you wake up in your bed, and you're like, oh, it's so lame, why was I was dumb. That's this place, that's this experience. You know, when you wake up from this experience, you're gonna regret being scared. Never fear. Don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.